Hey there, YouTube. Another video, another voiceover. So here we go. It's that road to 315 day, and it is the broliest of workout days. It is an arm day for all sakes. It's just a simple arm day. I work on my triceps and my biceps. As I've gotten more into the program, I've sprinkled in a little bit of chest pressing, just in a position I don't do regularly. So I do flat pressing in the beginning of the week, and then on my shoulder, upper body day, whatever, I do incline pressing, and then I started adding in some decline press just so one, I can get another opportunity to touch some heavy dumbbells and get some more chest stimulus. But two, pressing is a skill, so the more you do it, the better you get. I went from 1 day of pressing to 3 day of pressing. So these are all things that are going to help me get my bench press up. They're going to help me work on that bench press skill. And then, of course, I'm working on my triceps, which we know is a crucial part of the pushing mechanisms. You use your chest, your triceps, and your shoulders. Those are the muscles you mostly use when you're bench pressing. So if you want to get better, you have to work on those things. Now, this Broly day, I start off with some heavy compounds because you got to realize when it comes to smaller muscles like the calf, the triceps, the biceps, you can load heavier weight on those more effectively, so to speak, with compound exercises than you're going to be able to with accessories. With an accessory, you're usually only going to go up to about 100 pounds. With a compound like the bench or the dumbbell press, for example, you can go to 200 pounds. Or barbell row, you can challenge the bicep with 200 pounds versus, sorry, a bike went by. You can challenge the bicep or whatever muscle with a lot more weight than an accessory. So that can be a useful way to throw it in your programming. You just have to be smart about it. So I start off with heavy programs to really tire out the triceps. I try to do it in a position to really feel the triceps. So I'm focusing on that mind-muscle connection, and I just dig in after that. And then after a couple sets, then I'll go on to do the smaller accessory stuff. As you see, I was just doing some skull crushers, taking it slow, really trying to feel that flexion of my elbow, trying to keep my elbow high and then flex up, feel that tricep in the back of my arm. I really don't like being in the gym too much for arm days because I feel like it's really easy to get a lot of junk volume or waste time. So I try to cut it short. I don't necessarily do a lot of exercises, but I do a lot of supersets. I'm really trying to burn out the muscle. I think I've said before, but when you're chasing size, the goal is to pump a lot of blood into the muscle, right? So you do that with low, medium weight, high reps, and then remember, the pump, the pump is awesome, right? We all know that, but the pump is indicative of growth, these growth mechanisms being triggered in your body. So if you're chasing the pump, if you're chasing blood flow, if you're chasing reps, these are things that can probably, how do I put this? These are things you do them, they add up in this formula, you're going to get growth. There's no way around it. If you do this stuff and then follow it up with a good diet, you're going to get bigger, you're going to get stronger. And so that's what we're doing on this day. We're getting bigger, we're getting stronger. I'm doing some lateral tricep extensions. Let's see, especially on accessories, but even with bigger muscles, you want to work a muscle in a ton of different positions and expose it to these whatever positions, weaker, stronger, so you can gain strength in them. So maybe it's an extended position, maybe it's an overhead position, right? You want to stretch the muscle out. You want to point these triceps, these elbows different ways so you can try to hit different heads of the muscle, right? A muscle, usually most muscles are not just one head, they're comprised of different parts. So if you just do an exercise in one way, if you just do a curl right in front of you or a tricep press down, you are most definitely missing out on gains in the gym. And you got to switch it up, man. Switch the position, switch your grip, switch the tools you use. If something gets stale, don't be afraid to just switch it out and get something new. I mean, they wouldn't have all those implements if we weren't supposed to use them, right? But it's all about using them correctly, using them in the right circumstance, knowing what you're chasing, knowing what your goal is, and then applying the right methods. It's not rocket science, people. I think sometimes we have a tendency to overcomplicate things in good intentions, right? We want to get the best, so we think, we have to do this. No, at the fundamental level, we are at the gym to train. We are at the gym to train, so we are at the gym to get some kind of stimulus, okay? Outside of the gym, you recover from the stimulus, you rinse, you repeat, and you are going to keep growing. If you get some kind of a respectable stimulus, some kind of pump, some kind of soreness, and you're pushing hard work, you're looking at metrics and making sure they're going up, then you don't really have to worry about too much on the back end. What's going to happen is going to happen, right? You just saw me doing some incline curls. Those are freaking awesome. Like just leaning that elbow back, like even like dangling it or catching that elbow with a little bit more support. I had to drop the weights. I just got a really good bicep pump. If you watch, I stopped letting it go all the way down. I let it hang at first, I let it stretch, and I just kept that elbow there and just really focused in on that bicep, and like, they were agony. I was just shaking all over it. I don't even know what that's about, but yeah, good set, good set. The biceps have, I would say, a pretty minor role, if any, in the bench press. People say like they're for stabilizer muscles, so I'm not going to doubt that. They're probably much smarter and more skilled than me. So like they have small utility, but they're not a main worker. The reason I'm just training them is because like little things sometimes, like with certain muscles, especially like my triceps and my biceps, they're small, so I just like to do like an antagonistic day and knock them both out. Like this is all like bro science once again, but like I feel like getting that pump in like the back of your bicep and then forcing the pump into like your tricep, like those metabolites, those chemicals are just going back and forth. And I find that like those kind of antagonistic days work really well for me. Another example is like, what is it? I do my upper back and my shoulders. I used to do chest day and back day back to back, but it was too much. I couldn't focus on the heavy weight, so I switched that off. You can do your quads and hamstrings as an antagonistic muscle pair. But like, I just feel like it's an effective way to get a pump. I save time. I knock out 2 days. I have to do pressing, right? I have to work on my triceps as they're a major part of the bench. Might as well get a little bicep stimulus in. You see me now doing some cable curls. This is another reason why like I really don't generally like bicep days like alone, is because I feel like it's very easy to fall into a habit of just a ton of curls. Like some days it's just so easy when you're doing biceps, just curls, different kinds of curls, preacher curls, concentration curls, standing curls, hammer curls, barbell curls, cable curls. Oops, sorry about that, camera. I'll fix it. There's so many types of curl that it's easy to fall into that habit. So like, I like to mix it up. Again, like I didn't record it here, but my first set was some barbell curls and some French pressing, right? Another heavy compound exercise to really fry those smaller muscles. And then I went into the smaller accessories. You see me doing some overhead tricep extensions. These slap. These are a staple in my training, arguably more than like regular tricep extensions. Sometimes I feel like I can feel like one hand push it more than the other with those. But with these, it's very easy. That tricep is in a stretch position. If you just push those elbows forward, keep them up, you can really focus on keeping them flexed and using that tricep. I go down nice and slow behind my head and just try to explode up. Like, I really got a good pump after these. And that's what you want. You want to pump in multiple heads of the muscle, right? You want to train overhead in a stretch position. You want to train lying down like I was doing in a lateral position. You might want to train the tricep extensions, just the basic ones, right in front of you. When you set your training up like this to encompass a large amount of things in an intelligent way, that's once again how you make those little gains, those little marginal benefits that just beat those other people who aren't willing to do the work. Yeah, so I hope I touched on enough that you guys kind of glean some lessons from this video, right? Like when you're trying to do a skill, maybe doing it once, maybe benching once a week will only get you so far. And then if you start to see things plateau, or if you start to see more difficulty than you'd like, then you add in another bench day. And then, you kind of got to switch it up. So one day I'll do a heavy bench where I'm just trying to set reps. I'm just trying to set a rep goal at a decent range, right? It's heavy, but it's not peaking strength heavy, so I don't want to be below 3. We want at least 5. We want a hard set there, right? And then the next day when I come back, I'm not ready for strength yet, but what do? I'm still ready to train the bench. I bang out a ton of reps, man. I slap some weight on there, usually a decent percentage of my 1 rep max. We're talking mostly above 50, so then that 50 to 70 range, and I'm going for burnout reps, man. I'm going until like my form gets bad and I'm like, I gotta cut it. I rest a couple seconds, I bang out a couple more reps, right? So when you add in these different days, when you're doing the same thing, where you're benching, rowing, deadlifting, squatting, whatever, you have to switch it up. And even if you don't want to switch the rep scheme, you can switch the form, the variation in which you do, right? Like a floor press have less inherent stress than a bench press because you don't have that range of motion. You're cut off at the floor. So there's ways to add in your training, to spice it up, to add in little differences so you can kind of get a little more work in, because it's about frequency, it's about stimulus, it's about recovery. Like, all these things go together to make a good athlete. So in the spirit of that, like right now, I'm going to ride the train back up. I was forced to deload and start over. I pulled a muscle in my back stretching. I'm pretty sure I told you guys this, like a dummy. So like I had to take time off because I didn't want to come back and blast it with heavy weights and really mess myself up. So I was forced into a deload. Didn't like it. Kind of fought it for the first week or so, but and I just said, what the hell, just it's time to go back up. So I started over. I'm working my way back up now. I'm trying to practice and grilling these higher reps again, and I'm going to see where this rides me. I did not mean to say that. Pause. Whatever. So I'm going to see where this takes me. I've done like 270 for like 3. So my goal is to get past that, for at least a double, maybe even a single. I don't know. When I started this, it wasn't a true measure of strength, right? I messed up my shoulder or whatever. I had some issues with it, so I had to fix that. So that was never a true representation. So it'd be good to like get that bench back to see like, hey, this is really like that hard 100% all out effort I'm working with. And remember, curls for the girls, guys. I'm going to be like pretty disappointed if I haven't gotten further, but I definitely trust the process. I believe in the training. I've been working on pressing. I've been working on my skill. You're doing exercise so long, you just feel that groove. So it's feeling right. Everything is adding up. So I think it's just a matter of time. So stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this, like down below, or please give us a subscribe. And peace out.